first dish we're going to be making is a roasted chickpea salad. So I started off by washing some chickpeas, adding 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and then adding a sprinkle of salt. I then lined a baking tray with parchment paper and spread out all the chickpeas onto the tray. I baked these at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes until they were nice and crispy. Then I took a couple beets and chopped them up into smaller pieces. I then added the chopped beets to a pot and boiled them until they were nice and soft. Then I took a couple of carrots and grated them. Remember that you can use whatever amount of vegetables you want in your salad. Then I prepared the dressing, which is a third cup of cashews blended with some water, a tablespoon of olive oil, and a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Then I combined it all in a bowl. This is a great salad recipe for any sort of salad that you want to make. Then I assembled the salad using a big bowl of lettuce, the boiled beets, and the grated carrots. I topped that with the roasted chickpeas, the salad dressing, and half of an avocado. This is a great salad that can be used as a side salad or as an entree if you want. So the next thing I made was lentil loaf, which is kind of like a meatloaf, but with lentils instead of meat. So I started off by chopping up an orange bell pepper into small pieces. I then put the bell pepper into a pan to be roasted later on. Then I took a couple stalks of celery and chopped those into small pieces as well. And I put the celery into the pan too. Then I chopped up an onion, and you can't see, but I was definitely crying at this point. And I added that onion to the pan with the other vegetables. The last thing I chopped up was 3 pieces of garlic, and make sure you cut these up really small so that you don't have large chunks of garlic in your food. And I added that to the pan too. Then I added half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of coriander, half a teaspoon of thyme, and half a teaspoon of black pepper, and something I forgot was the half a teaspoon of salt. So just add that and combine it all in a pan. Then you're going to take about a third cup of water and add about 3 tablespoons of flaxseed. And as you can see, this will thicken up after you let it sit for a few minutes. Then I took a blender and added the vegetables, which I roasted until they were softer, a cup and a half of lentils, the flaxseed mixture, a cup of oat flour, which can be made by just grinding up oats, and a cup of vegetable broth. Then I blended this up until it was nice and smooth. I poured it into a rectangular baking tray, which I lined with parchment paper so that it wouldn't stick, and I baked it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes until it was done. This lentil loaf is really great, and you can top it with any sauces you want, such as ketchup or any sauce that you would normally put on your meatloaf. So the next thing I made was a mashed sweet potato with cinnamon, maple syrup, pecans. I started off with this huge sweet potato and first removed the skin. Then I chopped it up into smaller pieces, which was really hard. You can see me struggling here. But once I did that, I took the pieces and boiled them until they were soft and ready to be mashed. Then using a potato masher, I mashed them up and added 1 cup of coconut milk. Then for a little extra flavor, I added some cinnamon. You can add as much as you want. I didn't really measure out how much I was using. Then I placed some pecans into a small pan and added 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, as well as a little bit more cinnamon. I cooked these on medium heat until the maple syrup had started bubbling. I put the mashed sweet potato into a pan and topped them with the maple cinnamon pecans. This was probably my favorite dish that I made, and it's a great way to put a different twist on standard mashed potatoes. So these are all the different dishes I made for a vegan Thanksgiving dinner. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more.